Oh, hello! I didn't see you there. So this is the third part of this tutorial series. We just made a drum loop in Ableton and it's time for us to fat it up and make it sound more boomy. By the end of this tutorial, I hope you know more about effects and equalizing and compression. And if you want to download the samples that I'm using, you can find the link in the description. It's completely free if you use a promo code that I will also link. Let's go. Right, so now we have our beat. It sounds a little thin, a little, not there yet. So to fix that, we should use audio effects to sculpt the sound in the way we like it. So I think the drums need to be a little fatter, But first I would like to focus on every single drum. So to do that we can open the track, the drum rack here, and we can see the individual sounds. And as you can see, there are separate outputs for them. So if we open our MIDI file, we can as well see the drums playing. And maybe we should start with the kick, the number one. And a good thing to do on your tracks is to add an equalizer, an EQ. And you can find it in the audio effects. Go down to EQ8. And here you have presets. You can drag this one to the kick. And you see we get the equalizer here. But we also have presets down here. So for drums, we already have a kick EQ. So let's try that one instead. So put it on the kick. And you can see we have the standard EQ, which is just plain, and the preset. So what's going on here? Well, let's turn off our preset and play. Let's solo the kick drum. And here you can see something is moving. That's the kick drum. It's the sound of it. And an equalizer works like this. You have the volume to the left, negative, positive. So higher volume, lower volume. From left to right, you have the frequency. And the frequency is, well, you can think it like this. To the left, we have the dark sounds, like a low thunderstorm. It's a lot of low frequencies. But like the tinnitus sound, like the sharp beeps, they are high frequencies. So this kick drum, let's analyze it. We can see there's a lot of dark or low frequencies. And maybe we want to make the kick drum sound boomier, like fatter. Well, let's boost. Some of the low frequencies. Or maybe we want the kick drum to not be so boomy. Let's lower them. So what's going on now is that the only thing we can hear is this part of the sound. Everything on this side has now no volume. So you can really play with the sound here and shape it the way you want. So let's listen to the preset. Turn it on. And we can hear right away that it's much boomier because they have boosted some of this low end here. Which sounds really good. So let's keep it. Let's go to the next thing. It's the closed hi-hat. See if they have a preset for it. They do. Hat. Put it on. If you press Control and press, you can have multiple solo tracks. So maybe the hi-hat we want to be even brighter, even snappier, even sharper. So let's remove. And now we can't even hear it because we have removed everything except the highest frequency. somewhere like around there. Since we have removed a part of the sound, the volume of the sound will be much lower. So let's put up the sound a little, maybe 3 dB. And let's continue. I can remove the solo now, and let's find something for the snare. Snare EQ. And we can hear the snare gets a lot snappier because they have, or the EQ is boosting some of these snappy frequencies. So if I put the volume down, it should not be so snappy. But we like it snappy in trap, so let's keep it there. Maybe we can put down the volume just a little, -3. Perfect. Let's go to the open hat. So let's take the hat EQ number 2 here. That one was really sharp. Let's try the cymbal. You can put it on the hat and it change. Perfect. So a good tip, as you can see on all the equalizer, on all drum tracks, we have removed a lot of the low frequencies because these samples doesn't have a lot of low frequencies in them and we don't need it. So we just remove it, and that is to clear up some mud, to not make it as muddy. Because sometimes it might be some low frequencies hiding there that you can't hear, but they are still there. And that can really make it sound muddy. So it's good to always equalize your sounds and your instruments. So what can we do now? Well, we have an EQ and everything. Let's put something that affects all the drums at the same time. So we can press this arrow here and make sure we select the drum rack. And let's go to audio effects and search for drum bus. Here we have the drum bus. We can open and see we have a lot of presets. But let's not make a preset now. Let's just take it as it is. We drag it to the drum rack and release. And you can see it pops up to the right here. And maybe you think it's only on the snare now, but it's not. Because if we change to the kick here, you can see the equalizer is changing. But this drum bus is still here. Even though we select any of these, we can still see the drum bus. That means everything are going through the drum bus of these sounds. So let's play and hear how it sounds. Right away we can hear it's much bigger, much fatter. And that's really good. So what can we do here? Well, we can drive it, we can crunch it, we can boom it, and we so on. So let's try and turn some knob and see if we can make it sound fatter. Perfect. So now we have made it a little more fatter. Let's compare it. And you can see the volume is rising when we put it on. So it feels fatter because the volume is higher when we have it on. So to compare what's actually going on, we can lower the volume. And to know how much you're gonna lower it, let's see what the volume is without the effects on. It's around -6, and we can see here it's actually -5 -0.05. So let's put this one on and see. It's around -1. So to match it, we can trim the audio of the drum bus to -4 and play. Maybe -5, -6, and we're at -5.5. And if I turn it off, we're at around the same volume. It's even a little higher. And now let's turn it on and off. So that's the magic. It has around the same volume, but it's a different feeling of it. So it's working really good. So the last thing we should do before moving on is to put a compressor on everything. So let's remove the drum bus over here. Let's go to our compression. And here we can use a preset maybe. Let's see what we can find. Or maybe, let's see, where is it? I have a really good thing here. Glue compressor. So this one is really good for drums. It glues them together, so to say. So we can see here drum presets. We have full parallel. A parallel compression is that it's a technique that you can use on drums, which is really good. And here you have a preset of it, so let's use it. Drag it after the drum bus, because we want it to affect all the sounds. So here we can see how much the compression is working, and well, let's not make it work that much. So to change the threshold, tells the compression to work on much or not. So there you can hear it's working very much. And there it doesn't work at all. So let's find a good spot where it sounds the best. And to do that, you just have to listen, close your eyes, and turn the threshold. Around there, I liked it. So now we can save, and we can just turn this off, go back to the beat, and let's listen to it. Cool, so now we have, it's a lot of big difference. Let's try to turn off all the effects and see how it sounds without the effects. So you can also make the sound match with the compression as well, but I can leave it as it is because I think it sounds good. So I'll be back in the next tutorial with how to create a big ass 808 together with this. And maybe we can fiddle around with some more effects on the drums to make them pop as well.